Welcome back to Glory Hunter. We are at season number 6 and we have packed our bags and we have moved on to pastures new yet again. Now, after the phenomenal success of last season, let's just give you a little recap before we go into this. So, as things stand at the moment, both European titles have been ticked off. So that's the Champions League and the UEFA Cup, and also the Portuguese League title, and also the Portuguese FA Cup, or the Taça de Portugal as it is known as, has also been ticked off. But also, England has been done and dusted. Premier League and FA Cup both ticked off, which now leaves us Spain, Italy, France and Germany. Just the domestic titles to go. I can't believe we've actually managed to get the European ones done and dusted this early on. And it is early on. We're only just over the quarter waypoint of the 20 season challenge. Can I get this done a lot quicker than my previous Glory Hunter, which I think took 18 seasons to do? I'm feeling quite hopeful of this, actually. But as you can see, we are at a new home. We are in Valencia, which, not my first pick, but still not a bad pick to have. Now, going through this, I did have a couple of jobs come up. I believe I stated on the previous video, season number 5, that it was going into the European Championships. So I was hoping for a bit of a manager merry-go-round, and it really didn't happen. Not the way I expected it, anyway. So Inter Milan's job came up, but for some reason or other the game went buggy. I couldn't apply for it, and literally the next day Jose Mourinho went in and took that job. I looked at where he was, and I believe, hang on, let's go to Valencia, let's go to managers. Mourinho was Valencia's manager for nearly 4 years and hadn't won a damn thing, so I'm quite surprised he was still there. But, that being said, Valencia's job came up. I was looking at other clubs and there was nothing really happening. I did get offered, I think it was 4 international jobs. I got offered the France, England, Croatia, and one other that escapes me at the moment internationally, but obviously that doesn't interest me in the slightest. It's not part of the Glory Hunter. So I put my name for the Valencia job, and I got it very, very quickly, in fact. So obviously they were looking to get somebody in to fill in Mourinho's gap.
What did he say?
So to speak. And yeah, it's not a bad option, to say the least. If we have a look at the financials side of things, Valencia back in this day were a lot better off than they are now. 109 million in the bank balance. I got given the transfer budget of about 50, I think it was, and I got about 34 million left, which goes to show that I haven't actually made too many changes. So if we have a look at the transfers, ignore that one, that's going to get rejected again, he's not getting sold. So transfer history, going back. Now all these transfers here are all transfers that got brought in way before I did. Obviously, as you can see, they got brought in January. So Johan Duro and Thomas Hubschmann both came in the January, and this Hubschmann one was already agreed before I even came in. But Thomas Hubschmann, I remember this guy, very, very good ball-winning midfielder / centre-back, so great squad option for me. Obviously, I'll show you the squad when it comes down to it. I didn't actually realise as well that the season before they signed Julio Baptista and Alberto Zapata. Zapata is... look at those mentals! What a central midfielder he is. And believe me, all summer I've been batting off offers of like 70, 80, 90 million for him. Not selling him at all. Transfers wise, sales, nothing going on with me at all. A couple of these were already agreed, so it's a no-brainer for me. But I did make another 34 million of players I wanted to get rid of. So Jaime Castrillion went to Portsmouth. Isco, that's an annoying one for me. Although Isco in real life is a good player, I don't think on the game he's been given the best potential, so to speak. Unless it's the wrong Isco, I don't know whether there is another one, I only know of one. But he had a release clause in his contract of, what was it, 7.5 million, and AC Milan triggered it. I didn't even know about it until I looked at this. I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's gone. Juan Bernat has gone to Man City. Fabian Estenoyov has gone back to Mexico. And then just a couple of other loans. Baptista has gone out on loan to Everton in view of a permanent deal. I didn't want to keep him because he's good. Julio Baptista is an absolute beast. He really is an absolute beast. But I've got better players. But I also went for a Brazilian contingent. And the main thing for me, being at Valencia, is that there was no goalkeeper. There was no decent goalkeeper. I'll show you the squad in a second. You look at the squad and you look at the star categories for them. 3, 4, 5-star players all the way down until you go to the goalkeeper. And it's 2 or 1 star. It's nowhere near good enough. So I decided to go young and I found the regen Alisson. Still over in Brazil at Internacional. Got him 4.9 million. And you look at him already as 5-star potential ability, obviously. Wonder kid. Absolutely outstanding goalkeeper. He'll do me for the next couple of seasons here. But I also went for another Brazilian. I couldn't resist it because he was on the transfer list. Coutinho. 12.5 million as a backup shadow striker for my main shadow striker, who I'll show you in a second, or who I thought was going to be, but is now going to be swapped around a little bit. So that's my 2 transfers in. That's all my transfers out. Tactically wise, I'm keeping the same tactic. This could be a bit of a struggle for the Valencia side because they're more used to a tiki-taka style of play. So this has got to be implemented through the season. As you can see, I've already put a couple of players in. Alisson, I want to be my first choice, so he goes in as a goalkeeper. David Silva. Oh my, look at this. David Silva never moved to Manchester City. Yes, he is wanted. I'm not going to sell him at all unless a ridiculous bid comes in for him because he is just phenomenal. I've never, honestly, and you look at his ratings, the way he's playing, I've got him as my shadow striker at the moment. The only concern I've got is his injury record. It doesn't say he's injury prone on here, but he does pick up quite a few injuries. So between him and also I have Coutinho, who I've obviously brought in, and Vicente as well. They are going to be my 3 like sort of rotational wingers slash shadow strikers. But Vicente, even at 31, is absolute rapid. Phenomenal player. But the player I really, really love, and he's one of my favourite all-time strikers, David Villa. David Villa is utterly disgusting on this game. Utterly disgusting. You look at his career stats since the start of this: 21, 17, 16, 23 in the league, but 26, 24, 29, 27. He's got 2 already this season. I'm hoping he's going to get a few more than that. But as I say, this team, it's alright defensively, midfield and striker-wise. It's got goals and it could be pretty solid. It was the goalkeeper issue. I mean, look at that. I actually had a 16-year-old who I've sent out on loan now as my number 2. Potential 4-star ability, but it's not good enough. But as I say, goalkeeper, no. But we do have other players in here that are going to light things up. We've got a regen Jose Gaia. Left back, absolutely amazing. Veteran Choluka is at the club, and he's absolutely outstanding. Can play right back or centre back. Disgusting. Zapata, I have already shown. We've got a young Jordi Alba here, who again, like Isco, don't think has been given the best stats in here. I think they could be a little bit better, but he is still a very good player and probably will get game time. Obviously, Maxi Rodriguez, a former player of mine who sadly I had to sell at my Atletico Madrid time. He's done alright at Valencia and he's doing alright now. So I know I've got a really good player here. A good youngster come through, Fede Cartabia. I think he'll do alright this season. He's got good potential ability. And Julie, another really good backup striker actually. There are a couple of gaps in the squad that I may look at. I am going to come back in January to have a look at, see who is doing what. I need a few months with this team to see how we get on in that first period of the season before I bring any players in. With that being said, let's go and simulate the season. Fingers crossed we can keep ourselves in the Champions League this season. That is my main aim. I'm not expecting to win the league or the Spanish Cup this season or even anything in Europe. I just want stability, a season with the team so they can get used to the system. Let's go and find out and see how they did. The time to start a new Spanish adventure has begun. The challenge to topple the big two started in mediocre fashion with mixed results. A 4-2 win over Barcelona and a 4-3 win over Sevilla, with a 3-0 win versus Murcia and a 2-0 win versus Villarreal, were also coupled with losses.
Deep in love.
Real Sociedad 2-1, a 1-0 loss to Real Madrid, a 2-0 loss to Mallorca, and a 2-1 loss to Atletico Madrid made our start of the season all a bit ropey. In the January, the Spanish Cup journey started with a 5-0 and a 7-1 win versus Teruel and Jerez, only for that to come to an absolute abrupt halt at the end of the month by losing on penalties to Deportivo. We did get our revenge, however, beating Deportivo 3-1 in the league, whilst also beating Espanyol 2-0, Real Zaragoza 2-0, and a huge 2-1 win versus Real Madrid, helping secure our qualification for the Champions League next season. Not that we needed it, mind you. A European dream became a reality for Valencia. 3-1 wins versus Sporting and Schalke, a 3-0 win versus Bayern Munich in the group stage helped us gain a top 8 spot. We passed Real Madrid 6-4 on aggregate, Fiorentina and Bayern Munich 2-1 on aggregate to put us into the Champions League final for the second season in a row, this time versus Lazio, where Valencia claimed their first ever Champions League success on penalties to win the competition. Well, hasn't that been a nice pleasant surprise then? Second Champions League in 2 seasons with 2 different clubs. I did not expect that for a season. Wow. Valencia's first ever Champions League trophy, and we did it in pretty decent style. I'll go over this before I go into the league side of things. So if we have a look at the league phase, we qualified in the top 8, only losing 2 to Real Madrid. But we did get our revenge against them, and 2-1 to Ajax, a 1-1 draw against Lyon, and 5 wins against Bayern Munich, Olympiacos, Schalke, Sporting and Bordeaux. Propelled us nicely away from the knockout rounds and straight into the round of 16, where we obviously beat Real Madrid 6-4. Outstanding. Quarterfinals was Fiorentina, the semi-finals was Bayern Munich, and then to win in the final versus Lazio on penalties is a phenomenal achievement for this season. Absolutely outstanding. But obviously it's a little bit disappointing domestically because we got knocked out in the 4th round of the Spanish Cup, which the Spanish Cup was actually in the end won by Atletico Madrid on penalties. Okay. League wise, okay, I'm happy with that. Qualification, we're only what's that? 7 points. 7 points off Barcelona. Sevilla almost nicked it. We had a chance there, I think. I think we had a chance. But Barcelona win it again. We're 7 points off them. I think that is an incredible building block for us next season. And I think we could probably go one step further and put on a full title challenge. Europe, I'm definitely not bothered about. We've won the Champions League again. Not that we needed to, but I suppose it's really good for my manager reputation when I'm going for other jobs. Financially wise, we are sitting on a £51 million transfer budget with a healthy wage budget actually. Looking at the squad, goals wise, 28 from David Villa, 8 assists, 18 and 8 from Vicente. David Silva, 16 and 18, both of them bloody injured again. I mentioned this before about David Silva, his injuries this season alone. Pulled hamstring, twisted knee, bruised eye, pulled hamstring, groin strain, torn calf muscle. Spent a lot of time injured. His stats would be incredible if he didn't spend so much time on the treatment table. Maxi Rodriguez, 16 and 19 at the age of 32. But I did bring in a couple of players. You'll notice this. Let's go back to the transfer, shall we? Because I did bring in 3 players in the transfer window in January. My old mate Virgil van Dijk decided to follow me and join me from Liverpool. Why they let him go, I do not know. I really don't know, because you could easily play him alongside Van Dijk and Agger, and that'd be an amazing partnership. But for some reason, Louis van Gaal, who is now the manager of Liverpool, decided to sell him. No idea why. But for a first start to the season where I actually put him in the side, I wanted him to play. And he got 19 appearances, 1 goal in the league, 30 appearances all in all, and he helped us to the Champions League. What's not to like? Jefferson Farfan is a fan favourite of this game. He wasn't getting any game time at Spurs and he was transfer listed. I wanted another sprightly attacking option. And he's got the pace, the agility and the acceleration for it. First touch and free kick taken. Perfect. Great technique and work rate. And overall, 17 starts, 8 as a sub, 11 goals and 6 assists with 7 player of the matches for 18.5 million. I'd say that's a bargain. 11 goals in 16 games in the league. Saying that, let's have a look at his form. So he was playing either as a complete forward or on that left hand side. Phenomenal player. And then I got Edin Dzeko as another backup striker, and I thought, yes, let's get Edin Dzeko. He's 27 years old and he's poor, but I still liked it. I thought, you know what, he's going to offer a little bit. And to be fair, he didn't play too many games. In fact, he played no games at all. But you know what, for 2.4 million as a bit of a striker cover, because I was concerned about the injuries that Vicente and Silva were getting. I was thinking, okay, it only takes one more injury to David Villa and my front line is screwed, so I wanted to bring somebody else in. Looking at the schedule there, I'll go over not many losses or draws, a lot of green in there. I am very, very happy with that. Club vision wise, they're at a B, the supporters are at B, even though I won the Champions League. Talk about being fussy. But as you'll see, due to the owner looking to sell a club, they've altered the 5-year plan. And if we go into this part here and look at takeover, there's nothing there. There was a takeover a little bit further on, further back, sorry, in the game, and it was rejected. It didn't go through. But obviously, the chairman is still looking to sell the club. How that will affect things for the next season, I don't know. We've got 60 million in the bank balance, debts and loans, hardly anything there. We've got £51 million transfer budget, so I'm more than happy with that. Let's roll on to season number 7 and see if we can actually get that league title off Barcelona and Real Madrid, and the Spanish Cup as well. That would be nice. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy this content, and to keep up to date with the content that is coming further on into the future. Can't be that far off FM24, surely. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ta-ra.